Okay, how are we doing? Welcome to Shark Logistics Training 2.0. I'm going to be reading off a sheet I will provide to you, but I'm going to give you some basic outline of the job and what problem you're trying to solve, and kind of an introduction to the job. This is a basic introduction. So the problem you were trying to solve, let's start with that. The problem that you're trying to solve is we're trying to get new customers, money coming in the door. And that's what you're here to solve. That's what you're here to do, is provide outbound calls, trying to get in touch with these customers, trying to sell them, trying to get them shipping with us. That's what you need to do. That's what your value is to the company. So the first thing is that we're a freight broker. We're the middleman between customers and carriers. So customers hire us to find carriers and ship their products, so they can focus on their products and what they do well, and we can focus on what we do well. So what we can provide to customers. The number one, numero uno, is flatbeds. Flatbeds are our bread and butter. When I started the company, that's how I started out, is with flatbeds. A new market that we've come into is hot shots. Hot shots are, simply put, a smaller version of a flatbed. They're usually, the longest one is 40 feet. They can go down to 20 foot. They're for smaller shipments, things like that. It's kind of molded over. The market, our hot shot market and customers that we use, kind of just came from the flatbed. They're kind of similar. It's something that doesn't need to be in a dry van or anything, other type of trailer, so that's how it kind of came about. Dry vans, it's something that we can provide. We haven't explored that market yet. We mostly call flatbed customers people who need flatbeds, because that is our niche. We'll know the rates, we'll have capability, we have carriers already set up in our network, things like that. So it's not something I would tell a client we can't do. It's just we're not going to be the most proficient and the best at it. But when it comes to flatbeds, we can get it done, no problem. LTL. It's a term that it's a broad term. A lot of customers will throw it out. There are certain LTL markets that we can provide and some we can't. The one we can is when they're talking about hot shots. So hot shot, they need a couple pallets moved, it needs to go on a hot shot. That's an LTL we can provide. When it's an LTL and it's going through things like FedEx, SCI, DHL, it's more automated, and those are a lot cheaper rates, and it's just something that we're not going to be able to provide, and it's not cost effective to us. We're going to mostly stay in the FTL market, full truckload, not less than truckload LTL. Why use us? So convenience. We can get a lot of trucks in different places. So if a customer needs a truck in Houston going to Oklahoma, we can provide that in the same day that we can provide a truck from New York to California. So we're very versatile. We can provide trucks in different locations. It's convenient to come to us, and then we can get the trucks. Volume. We can push out a lot of volume. You call a trucking company, they have 20 trucks, and wherever those trucks are at, they can get them loaded. But we have, layman's term, unlimited supply. Wherever a truck's at in the nation, we can get it. So we have the ability to gain a large volume of trucks and push 20 trucks, 30 trucks out a day of a facility. So customers will use that for the volume. Extra capacity. Some clients will have their own trucks, but sometimes things happen. Trucks break down. They don't want to send their trucks too far. A lot of customers won't want to send their truck from Dallas to California, but they will want to locally distribute their products around the Dallas area. So we can provide that extra capacity when needed. Ultimately, we're trying to solve their problems. So they need their products shipped, and we're here to provide that solution. And, a lot of times, when you get deeper into the job, we can provide solutions on rates, capabilities, hey man, it's going to be double the price if you try to ship it today, so might as well do it tomorrow. We can provide their different options to them. So providing options. And customer service, they call us, we're positive, we're eager, we're giving them updates on when their shipment's going to be there, what time. So it's a one-stop shop. They can call us and we can get it done. What types of customers that usually hire us to ship their freight are large manufacturers. For example, a shingle company near the Dallas area will contact us and we will provide those shipments to them. Those trucks, they have the products, they need 200 trucks out of the facility, we'll provide all of that. We'll get 30 trucks to them that day. So large manufacturer, they need their shipments out. Companies need stock transfers. Sometimes a company will have a location in Dallas and they need to ship some inventory from Dallas to Tampa for whatever reason. We can provide those stock transfers. So it's not going to their final customer, it's just going from plant to plant. Final user we can provide. So a company is selling their sheet metal sheets to their customer. They need to get delivered out to them the next day. They want to make their money. We provide them the truck, updates, get it to them, get the product to their customer, and that's what we can provide. Metal products. So some basic types of materials we haul in the flatbed, like I mentioned, market are metal products, lumber, and shingles. So we have a large client that provides shingles. They have a huge plant outside of Dallas, and we push a lot of trucks their way, going various locations to their customers. So we can provide the trucks, do what we do well, so they can focus more on their products and do what they do well. So how you're going to be successful is calling your customers. Warm calls, cold calls, whatever it is, getting in touch with them, getting the right information to them, getting them to trust us that we know what we're doing is what value we provide to the company. While you're doing that, you're going to hear objections. So the main objections you'll hear that you need to solve are, we're not signing new carriers right now. So that's a good one, because that means that they do have a need for trucks. They just don't have a need for us right now. So how we do that is try to convert the no to a yes. When are you signing new clients on? What would it take for you to evaluate us, to take a second look at us? What would it take? What could we do differently to make you want to sign us, to add us to your list, whatever it may be? We already have carriers that's similar to the we're not signing new carriers. It's kind of the same thing. We already have our carriers. Okay, well, what did they say? What do they do that makes you want to keep them? What do you like that they do? And what can we do differently? And try to figure that out, and then you can sell them. You'll have more information to try to sell them. We're customer routed. So that means that the customer that they're selling their products to coordinates the shipments. So there is material moving in and out of that facility. It's just not coordinated by the person you're talking to, the company that you're talking to. So you need to figure out who the customers are and try to get in touch with them and try to provide our services, what we can do, and try to sell them on us, on Shark. And the last one is, we're slow right now. Okay, is it a slow month? Is it a slow year? Is it a slow season? When will you be busy? Are you making products right now? I had a customer just a couple days ago I called, and she said, yeah, we don't have anything right now. I said, okay, are you making products right now? She said, yeah, everything's in the machine shop. I said, okay. Do you know when that material gets finished, where it's going to go? Yeah, I do. I said, okay, well, if you give me the location, I can start putting some numbers together, and when it gets finished, we can deliver it to your customer. Okay, I'm going to shoot you an email back, boom, 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 of where it's going to. I provided her a quote and shipped it. it hasn't gone out yet, but I got the quote established. I have a very good chance of when it needs to be shipped, we can get it done. What you'll need to be successful. So 100 calls a day. So if you took sales rep A and sales rep B, didn't tell me anything about them, maybe one has better skills than the other one. One calls 100 a day, one calls 50 a day. The one that calls 100 a day in a week has called 500 people, has 500 opportunities. The one that's called 50 has called 250 clients that week. They have 250 opportunities. So it adds up, and then in a month, this person's called 2,000 times. This other person's called 1,000 times, right? So over a year, over time, I would take the person that calls more and has more shots in the goal. I'd bet on them a lot more than I would the person that's never shooting, never taking the shot. So making that high call volume will give you better odds at success. 30 follow-ups. So it'll start out right now, your first day, you haven't called one person. So it's all going to be cold, right? As time goes on, you'll have clients you've already spoken with, and you're following up. So it'll be transition from 100 cold calls to 100 warm calls. So you'll start transitioning into the follow-ups. But you need to be following up. That's where the key is. And you still need to be adding customers to your list after a while, but follow-ups will ensure that you close a deal. But making 100 calls a day ultimately is the goal. You should be following up with your clients, at least talking to them once a week. So if you've contacted somebody and they haven't answered the phone, it's like you never called them. If the point of contact, the person that makes the freight decisions at that company, you have not spoken to them, then it's like you never called them. They don't know what your name is, what you do, what Shark is. They know none of that. So if you are not following up with them, if you haven't talked to them, then take it as you never called them. It's the same thing. Where you can prospect from. So when the company started out, we used Google Maps. We just looked at large manufacturers and found one. And usually they don't put them in the middle of a neighborhood. They're around a lot of other large manufacturers. So we clicked around their neighbors and called all of them and tried to close all of them and entered them into our prospect list. Now we have a lot of prospects already entered, so a lot of the work on that side is done for you. So you have even a easier time than we did at first. So ITS Dispatch is our old system. It's what the TMS, it's how we tracked every shipment, sent rate cons, manage all the shipments. We now have McLeod, but I still want to use ITS Dispatch so we don't clutter up McLeod. So you're going to be using ITS Dispatch at first. There's already prospects entered in there that you can call, follow up with, that other people have some information, whether it's the name, maybe the name and the contact, their phone number, their email address. Some of it's already figured out, filled out for you. So you can call and see if the information's right, and then maybe already have Michael's name entered in there, so you know Michael is the person that you need to get in contact with and try to sell him. And then places we've delivered to, there's already, last time I checked on ITS Dispatch, 700 entries into ITS Dispatch. So you won't at first need to be looking at the locations, but when we pick up a shipment at a location and deliver it to a location, 99% of the time, one of those aren't our customers. Either the final user isn't our customer or the place we picked up isn't our customer. So there's an opportunity for us to call them, say, hey, we delivered to your location for XYZ company that is our customer. I want to see how where the product goes. If y'all needs shipments out of there. That product leaves your facility. Where does it go? Who does it? Try to make shark the person who does it. So expectations. I know it's cliche, but show up with a winning attitude. You know, you show up to play every day, right? It's not practice every day, it's the game. So when you show up, you're on the phone with everybody, all your clients, your potential clients, talking to them. You're going to be a lot more successful if you show up with a winning attitude. Make your 100 calls. So if you're making the 100 calls, you're making the volume, like I explained before, you're going to have a lot better chance because you're shooting your shot way more times. And show excitement on the phone. Clients can tell if you're excited about the job, if you show enthusiasm, if you like what you do. They need to be confident that you know what you're doing and that you're going to be the best broker that they use. So they want to be confident. If you're not excited, if you're not pumped up, then they won't feel the confidence. You don't exert confidence and they won't feel the confidence. And you should know who you have in your pipeline. So taking notes is very important. I should be able to look at your notes and tell, okay, Miguel followed up with this person at this time. Peter, the client, said this. They need hot shots, they need flatbeds. It's coming out of this location. Anything that was talked about, anything that was said needs to be in the notes. What happened so I can review and just pick up where you left off. So you should act like it was someone that isn't you, because 3 months from now when you've been making 100 calls a day, I don't expect you to be able to remember exactly what happened 3 months ago. And do not just email clients. So email is a tool, but it's a very low probability. Even the best, there is good and there is bad emails, but even the best email doesn't have as good as an opportunity as a call. So you want to be calling these people, getting in contact with. We have account managers that have been shipping with clients that they talk to 6 times a day on the phone. It's a lot of back and forth. So the phone is where you'll be successful. And last, try whatever it takes to get a hold of them. Usually you're talking to the receptionist. You're not talking to the person that handles the logistics isn't the person that's answering the phone at companies. So you need to ask the receptionist, what can I do to get a hold of them? Use FOMO, urgency, clarity. Hey, we are the best. I don't want Peter to miss out on our capacity. How do I get a hold of somebody? Is there anyone else besides Peter that I can speak to that handles that? Do you know if y'all use trucking companies, logistics companies, third-party carriers? Do y'all know if y'all use that? Try to see. They're receptionists. They're the ones that get every single call that go in and out of there. They know what's going on. So try whatever it takes, different avenues, creativity, doing whatever it takes to get a hold of that person, calling them multiple times per day, mornings, afternoons, trying different things. Things to avoid I've seen mistakes that I've made seen people make in the past that have caused them to fail is not following up with your clients. So if you aren't following up with them, then there's opportunities lost. So just calling someone every day, you're not going to close them, because hopefully you're not closing the people that just on the first call just switch over to you, because that shows they don't have a lot of loyalty. Now there may be some instances on your first call you may get lucky and they may use you and show some interest because the broker that they're using right now just dropped them that day. They're pissed off and they're willing to talk to you and give you a shot. Or they have some oddball shipment that needs to get done and you can get it done for them. So it does happen, but oftentimes, 90% of the time, you need to follow up with them. Follow-ups are what's going to close them. Emailing them, what do you have this week? I've seen a lot of sales reps just email their clients, hey, let me know what you have. That's not going to close them. They get 20 of those a day. You're not separated from the competition. It's not going to make someone switch to you, or no one's going to fall out of their chair because you sent somebody a, hey, well, let me know what you have this week. No, if you call them, you're confident, you know what you're doing, you know that you're the best, and you're exuding a lot of confidence, it'll transfer over to them, and they'll know, they can tell on the phone that you're excited, you're hungry, and you're ready to ship with them, and you're going to take the same level of care. Shark is going to take the same level of care into moving their shipments. Load list. So a lot of customers utilize load lists, which there's no problem with. They just blast them to 100, 150 carriers and just blast it out with where it's picking up, where it's going, and the price. They don't care about customer service. They don't care about loyalty. They just want it shipped as cheap as possible, which is fine for them, but we can't make money off of it. We need people that they're gonna reach out to us, and we're gonna handle their shipments. So don't look at load lists. It's a waste of time. Hazmat. There are a list of things that we're not the best at, that we just haven't explored, markets we haven't explored that are harder to broker, whether they're harder to broker or we just haven't explored them. Hazmat is one of them. You have to have special certifications. We don't know the ins and outs of it, so it's something that I wouldn't waste our time on right now. We can keep it in our back pocket in case, we move into that market, we know what we're doing. But ultimately, all the things that I just discussed are an introduction. The biggest takeaways are staying excited, hitting your call numbers, following up with people, keeping good notes, and trying to overcome those objections and just keep on tweaking it every day. And if you do these things that I've outlined, then I'm confident that you'll be successful, and welcome to Shark. Get going.